Okay, good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. This is Murph. I am the host of this show, and it is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other types of rock music. So, we're here today to do the episode I do every week at this time called This Week. I consider this to be the first episode of the week, even though, generally speaking, most times I do have a video that comes out in the morning, but that's primarily the series we're running, which means it runs every day. So it's not really the beginning of the week. So I consider this one to be the beginning of the week. So basically, what we do with this episode is I take you on a tour through what's going to go on the channel for this week. That includes the regular shows that come out on their specific days. Also, the series that we may or may not be running for the month that we're in. This month we are finishing off March and going into April. I'll talk a little bit about the last couple episodes, one of which went out this morning for last month's series for March, and then about what's going to happen for this month starting in April. And sometimes I go back and talk about anything that may have needed a correction. The only thing, a couple episodes were late again, mostly due to work. At this time of year, we're quite busy, so that affects getting stuff out on time. So I try to get them out at 8. That's my goal, or on time, but it doesn't always happen because other things interfere with it. So anyways, we're here to do the episode of this week. We've already explained that, so we're going to move on to this episode will probably come out between 12:30 and 1 today, depending on how long it takes to upload. The next episode that normally comes out on Sunday evening, called Commonalities Compared. Ben has asked me, so what he normally does on that episode is he picks a couple of commonalities and I compare them. So he's picked actually 4 that go, and once you see him, you'll know why he picked the 4. So there's Peter Criss's solo, Ace Frehley's solo, Paul Stanley's solo, and Gene Simmons' solo, which I don't have, so we won't be able to have a kind of a prop for that one, although I'm very familiar with the albums, all 4 of them actually. I've owned them all in vinyl, and I've had all but Gene Simmons in CD, and I've had Ace a couple times in CD, so I'm fairly familiar. So we'll be doing a commonalities about the 4 Kiss solo albums for this week, so it should be interesting. Kind of talk a little bit about them. It's not really a comparison. It's not really a ranking of any kind here. We're just going to talk about the albums, and that will come out tonight at 8 o'clock. Then Monday we have 2 things going on. Forgive me. Tiring week, I'll tell you that. So this week we'll be doing the new albums purchased, which are the albums that I purchased for the month of March. I think I have a total of 14. It was supposed to be 16, but a couple, they were out of stock where I ordered them, so I never got them. And so we're at 14. Most of the stuff from Encore, some of the stuff from Laser CD. And I did order something, but it still hasn't come. It's been like 4 months, so I'm assuming that it's not coming, that somehow it got lost in transit. I paid for nothing. So that happens sometimes. I may have to go back and see if I can figure out what happened, but I haven't been able to do that yet. So that will come out. I think that'll be midday tomorrow on Monday. New albums purchased. So there you go. So next up is look back at a classic rock albums, a show I put on every Monday in which I talk about albums that are 15 years or older, that have a ranking of about a high 2, 1, or a masterpiece album with me. I tend to stay away from the lower 2s and the 3s until they actually become higher ranking albums. And this week we're going to be doing The Pretenders 2. Last month I purchased this album, listened to it yesterday, probably will listen again before I do the ranking. It's really good. I really like it. So that will be what we're doing for Monday nights. Look back at a classic rock album coming out Monday at 8. Next up is the Tuesday night show, which is a mini series called Serious Changes. This will actually be the final episode of the 6-part mini-series. I actually changed it. I had another band in there, and I decided that you can't do one without doing this band. So we're going to do Yes, of course. Probably started here, or maybe it started in Tornado, and it went completely different here at 90125. But we will also be talking about Yes has actually changed their style several times, going from progressive to very poppy to more progressive again, with a bit of elements mixed in there from both. So we'll be talking about Yes this week for the last episode of Serious Changes, the mini-series we're running for the last 6 weeks. That will come out Tuesday at 8. The next episode to come out will be Favorites. This comes out every Wednesday. So last week we did my 25 favorite double albums, and when I did it, I discovered that, I actually didn't discover it, but I kind of knew that there was probably going to be enough material to do something for triple albums. So we'll only be doing my 5 favorite triple albums. That's 3 albums that came out together. I think almost all of these are live albums. So this will be what we're doing for the favorites for this week, and that will come out Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Moving on to Thursday, Not What We Hoped For. This is a show that I do every second week. It was for a while alternating with Big Surprises. I took Big Surprises out of the arrangement and put ranking the songs off an album in there, which is a series I liked doing before. Kind of gave it a rest, and now I'm back. So it's going to alternate with that. But Not What We Hoped For this week will feature this album from the Beatles, Let It Be. Good album. I like it. But being their last album, I always thought it would be much grandioser than it was. So we'll be talking about that album for Not What We Hope For on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Next up, the Friday night show, which is a live stream into the Progverse. And so we've done 2 episodes in a row now, one called The Big Six, and then one called The Contemporaries of the Big Six that could have made the Big Six. And now we're going to do those 6 other progressive rock bands, not necessarily contemporaries, throughout history that could have made the Big Six, or might be the new Big Six if you want. So we'll be doing that episode on Friday night, and hopefully that'll generate some interest for people. The next 2 shows are on Saturday. That's Friday night at 8, sorry. The next 2 shows are on Saturday. One of them will be a noon show. I think I said on my last episode that this was episode 2, but it actually was episode 3. So we're now on to episode 4 of Battle of My Masterpiece albums, in which I'm taking all 61 of my masterpieces, put them in these battles, and we're going to see if my favorite album is actually my favorite album, if the albums that I like the most are actually my top 10 albums. I decided that sometimes nostalgia plays a big part in why an album stays up among your favorites. But when really put up to the competition, is it really your favorite, or has it lost some ground and somebody else has taken its spot? So this week we have another 4. They will be Supertramp's Even in the Quietest Moment, Neil Young's Harvest. Yeah, Neil Young was in last week's too, but now he's coming back with another one. Heart's Dreamboat Annie. And finally, last but not least, Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. Get a good shot of the title there if you can see it. Anyways, those will be the 4 albums that will be in the Battle of the Masterpiece bands this week, coming out Saturday at 12. And last but not least, What's New, which always finishes the week, will be coming out on Saturday night. This week, we're going to be going back to the neo-prog scene from the early 80s. We did that last night's episode with IQ and their new album Dominion. This is going to be Solstice. Now, the new album I have listed as Klon, but I think that might be a misnomer. I may have to check up on that. So forgive me, I didn't think to check. I had it written down here, so I thought I had it, and then I remembered I hadn't checked on it. So I will check on that before next Saturday when I do the album. Solstice is a band that's really kind of come on for me. Maybe my third favorite of that era of music. So, and then next up we also have, and of course that'll be Saturday at 8. I do apologize. So next is the monthly series. So the monthly series we've run for March has been my 31 favorite rock albums, rock bands, that released 2 albums in the same year. So we have 2 episodes left. Actually, we have 1 now because the first one came out this morning. And the last one will be tomorrow. I don't think it'll be much of a surprise for people what it is, but it will come out tomorrow. The next monthly series will start, of course, on Tuesday. My 30 favorite rock bands with a prog influence, or a prog sound. So what I've done is I've taken all those bands, 30 of them, and these are bands that I don't think of as prog bands, but they do have a percentage of their sound that's kind of proggy. So you may have as much as 49%. If they were 50% or higher, then they would probably be considered a prog band. But these are bands that may have some other genre as their primary genre, but have a percentage of their music that is very proggy. So I've taken down 30 of them. I've kind of gone through them in my head and give them a percentage. So if the band is primarily a hard rock band has a little bit of a prog sound, or may have some bluesy influences in there, may have some poppy sounds in their music, may have some maybe metal sounds to their music, but those are their primary sounds. And then there's a prog element to the music. Now, the prog element may be the second most popular element in their music. Some people will actually consider the band to be prog, and that's fine. It's really a kind of really subjective thing, because for some people, certain bands are definitely prog. For other people, they're not prog at all. And that's a wide range. Some people would say Rush is not prog. I would not be one of them. I would not be one of those people. So you won't be seeing Rush here. But you will be seeing a lot of bands, 30 of them. And I'm going to put them in the order of what I consider to be least proggy to most proggy. So it's not going to be really a ranking. I'm not going to be ranking them to be my favorite to least favorite, or worst to first, or any of that. This is just going to be bands that I think are the most proggy will go on the last days, and then the ones that are the least proggy will go on the first days. So that's how I'm kind of going to do it. I've picked 30 of them. I think these are probably my 30 favorite ones. But, there may be a few that get in there that I hadn't thought of. But I don't think so. I think I've pretty much got it narrowed down. And that will start Tuesday. That series will start Tuesday and run through the entire month of April. I kind of wanted to do this is my birthday month, so I kind of wanted to do it for my birthday month. And so some of the other stuff that I had planned to do, I just moved it back a little bit, so we get to those eventually as well. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of this week, which is now, I think it's number 138. That's pretty much all I have to say. Hopefully we will see you for whatever type of music you like, or whatever episodes kind of turn your crank, and we'll see you throughout the week. And have a good one. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Any comments or anything that you might want to suggest, you can put in the comment section, and I will see you this week. Have a good evening, a good day, and goodbye.